You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams. You are welcome, holy welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you are. No more hiding tears, no more covering scars. You are welcome, holy welcome. You are welcome here, just the way you want to be. Bring your deepest hopes and all your wildest dreams.
There's something in the air, the dream of life in love, with minds that rest in prayer, sparking joy we're in awe. No matter where your path has been or time has somehow flies, like souls will come home again, true friendship ever thrives. Is this where the magic happens? Can you feel the hearts revealed right now in you and me? The secret is wherever we are. There's something in a smile that can turn a day around. Moments so worthwhile when we find common ground. No matter what the day might bring, right here we can align, knowing that we will be seen as perfect, whole, divine. 'Cause this is where the magic happens. Let's feel all the hearts from close to me and me to you. The secret is wherever we are. So meet me where the magic happens, feeling all the hearts ignited now in you and me. The secret is wherever, the secret is whenever, the is together we are.
Good morning, everybody, or afternoon. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in St. George. And we're glad you're with us today. And we do this every Sunday with our little podcast and brought to you by your spiritual partners at Center for Spiritual Living in St. George. We're an open, loving, and inclusive community that supports thinking creatively and leading a deeply spiritual life. So be assured you're among friends here, and we're really glad you're with us. Today, our team is four. We have Marina in the background handling all the technical stuff to make sure you can see and hear us. And my name is Alan Stanley. I'll be your host today and sing a few songs with you. Star Sterrett, one of our practitioners, will be offering our invocation and a reading. And then, of course, our own senior minister, Reverend Joe Kovach, will be offering our message today. So, excuse me, you might hear some of this. So anyway, we're going to start off with a nice, relaxing song and lead into Star coming up and offering our invocation. And then we'll sing a little bit more. So just sit back and relax, and you're among friends here. In the silence of this moment, there's a holy presence near. In the silence of this moment, Spirit whispers in my ear. In the silence of this moment, my search for hope is done. In the silence of this moment, God and I are one.
Thank you, Alan. I love that song. Okay. Let's just take a deep breath. And in the silence, knowing that there's only one mind, and that mind is infinitely intelligent and beautifully in the hearts and minds of every individual person gathered here today, doing what Spirit loves to do, and that's be with one another. And so as we do this, we learn today that there are many, many avenues to Spirit. And we are grateful for this opportunity to learn from Reverend Joe. And we're grateful for this platform. We're grateful for the technology of those who are in desire to be with a community that breathes in this hope, this silence that is ever present right here and right now in every present moment. So knowing that, I bless this service today. I know that it is good, and I know that it is absolutely perfect for whomever is listening. And so I release it into the law, knowing that it's already done. As together we say, and so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Star. In the silence of this moment, there's a holy presence near. In the silence of this moment, Spirit whispers in my ear. I'm done. Thank you all. I'm about to catch up. And we're going to return to Star, and she's going to offer our daily reading for us today. Welcome back, Star. We're sure missed you.
Thanks. It's been a while. Okay. I took today's reading out of Science of Mind magazine today, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's from the author is Casey Taylor, An Invitation to Get Uncomfortable. Okay, so I just took a couple of excerpts from this that I'm going to read. Early in my meditation practice, sitting still in the quiet did not work for me. I liked guided and walking meditations, but over time I started feeling the urge to dedicate time and being still. I suddenly found value in a meditative experience that didn't resonate with me before. What is your relationship with the mundane? In your inner wisdom, if your inner wisdom suggests that this is an area for growth, consider finding opportunities for peace, to explore peace and divine connection while performing everyday tasks. Consider allowing the mundane experiences to serve as an invitation to consciously connect with the divine. Even if you have a daily meditation practice, mundane tasks can provide the perfect space to stay grateful, mindful, and awake to the gifts from Source all day long. All of life, including time spent sitting in traffic, is sacred. Moments in our lives that feel boring, uncomfortable, and offensive, they're really sacred. Instead of responding to these feelings by saying, "Oh my," we invite you to lean into them. Embrace the full, sacred nature of life. Recognize that every experience of discomfort serves as a chance to grow, because it does. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Star. That's great. Some of you may know I perform locally a little bit. And this next song that we're going to sing together is one of my favorites that I do often. It's called Humble and Kind. And it's just, because it's one of my favorites, I guess is why it's requested so much when I do perform out. But I found this quote relating to humble. I'd like to read it. Humble means recognizing that we are not all on earth to see how important we can become, but to see how much of a positive difference we can make in the lives of others. And this quote is from Gordon Hinckley. So this song, just sing along, and which is. There's a light that shines by the front porch. Don't forget the keys under the mat. When your childhood star shines, always stay humble and kind. Go to church 'cause your mama says to. Visit grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, and the work you put in is realized, go ahead, feel the pride. Always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness will keep you from flying. Always stay humble and kind. Know the difference between sleeping with someone and sleeping with someone you love. I love you ain't no pickup line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you've got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, go ahead, feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. When it's hot, eat a root beer popsicle. Shut off the AC and roll the windows down. Let that summer sun shine. Always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, stop and turn around. Help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Hold the door, say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you've got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, go ahead, feel the pride. Always stay humble and kind. Go ahead, feel the pride. Always stay humble and kind. Namaste, my friends. So today's, go ahead and feel the pride. This year we're living out loud is our theme for our messages. And in November, it's the mundane, the sacred, and the profane. And we're not talking about profanity here. Yeah, but anyway, today's message that Reverend Joe will discuss with us is the mundane. So I'd like to welcome Reverend Joe Kovach. I'm getting there, my friend, and we're just going to let you take it away, sir.
Well, hold on, Alan. I do want to. That was a beautiful song, and you're a local. So where can people come see you?
Well, usually every Sunday at the Firehouse on Main Street at the Zion 2 Brewery. And we play around different places. We got a show, my partner and I, on the 18th of November at Angelica's. It's a Mexican restaurant on the Boulevard. So, and then things pop up. We've played around up in Zion. So it just,
oh, wow.
I like to play music. So any chance anybody will let me, I do it. So,
truly, your dreams are coming to you. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So go out and see Alan. That was a wonderful song. Thank you. Got us in the feeling good. That's what it's all about. Good morning. And I look down and it's November 5th. We are in the 11th of 12 months and 12th month of a year, or 12 months. You know what I'm saying? We're almost done with the year already, and it's hard to believe. It goes so fast. And yet it's so good. It's so good if we choose that. Yes. So take a deep breath with me. Just center in. Whew. Sometimes I gotta center myself and slow the energy down so I can focus, because that was a good song. Put me in a good place. And thank you again, Alan. Thank you, Star, for the reading and the prayer. And Marina, I know you're going to make me look and sound amazing, so I'm going to thank you now. So last month, October, again, which is already done, we explored the idea of paradox, the idea of duality, of poles, and the kind of this or that versus trying to shift to the this and that. So we're not excluding anything, and then recognizing the next step, which is it's all part of God, spirit, wholeness, the energy and source of all life. And so we shift from that to taking another way that we look at life. And we're going to look at these three viewpoints, which is, of course, the mundane or the ordinary parts of life, ordinary in quotes, the perceived sacred life, that has its, of course, rules and regulations and practices depending on what you follow and what you find sacred. And then the profane, or that which is not spiritual, in quotes. And then lastly, we're going to have the oh my. That's kind of, we're going to recognize that how all of these aspects are part of the one, just like the this or that, or this or that, and that, or and is all star part of the one. Well, all of everything we talk about, there is nothing outside of that which we call God or life. It is all one. If we cast something outside of it, we say, well, that's not source showing up. Well, then it's source and something else. And we know that there can't be that. It's all one. And so like I like to do almost every week, and we're going to ground with a Ernest Holmes quote. And Ernest Holmes, our founder, says, God is an infinite presence and an indwelling reality. The silent whisperings of this inner presence come to each as a divine revelation, an inner communion of the individual spirit with the oversoul, the higher part of who we are, that vast and invisible presence in which we live, move, and have our being. So that's his way of basically saying that it is all truly God. It is an infinite presence that we each, that whispers to us individually, right? From wherever it is. Starr mentioned that is an infinite intelligence. So it's not just mind, but it's infinitely knowing of itself, because everything is of itself. So how could it not know what is best for what I call my life? Because my life is that life, right? Going back to the Bible, Jesus says, I and the Father are one. He recognized this connection, this communion of oneness. And so we look at this, and that's really what this life journey, call it sacred, call it what you will. This journey of life is really about, is taking a look, and through our own individual lens, right? Honoring that lens, that perception, and honoring, therefore, our journey every step of the way. So let's jump into this week's topic, which is the mundane. So that which we kind of find boring, perhaps. Have you ever heard that? I'm bored. Okay. If you're a parent, maybe a teacher, you've heard that quite a bit, right? And it's more than anything, it's a complaint, and it's often irritating. Especially when you're trying as a parent or a guardian or a teacher or a coach to lift another up. But boredom, as I tell my own students often, and my children, boredom is a choice. But as humans, we learn to kind of categorize different aspects of life. And so what we kind of don't like, maybe, we find boring. But when we're in this idea, this energy of boredom, we are not open. We are not discovering anything new. Matter of fact, we're locked in a very tiny little box of seeing something in only one way. And we want to, of course, wake up and feel the excitement of a fresh day. We want to live in a state that's constantly exciting. And we want to feel like we're waking up and doing meaningful things, and maybe world-changing things, life-changing things and activities, and careers, professions, even the mundane work we do. We want that to mean something. And yet, often when we talk about these mundane types of tasks and things that we need to do, we're talking about things like doing the dishes, maybe going to shop at Costco. Some people don't like that, or Walmart. How about looking at the emails? Right? You got to sit down and dedicate time to do that now. That's not something we really did 20 years ago. Taking out the garbage, taking the dog for a walk, bringing the car in for its tune-ups, on and on and on. So many things that we kind of do almost automatically because they have to get done. And we almost take the life out of it. Right? We just know that life would be so much more if we could just, have something take care of those things, these mundane things. Right. And in essence, we kind of are getting to that point often, like with AI and technology, a lot of the older mundane types of tasks we are assisted in, right? Like dishwashing. My children will complain about doing the dishes, and really all they're doing is rinsing them and putting them in the dishwasher. They don't really even wash them anymore. But to them, it's boring and it's a mundane task. So what if, however, we were able to be open-minded enough, and I know we are, that's why you're here, to take a look at the mundane and in the same light, in the same perception, in the same purview as if it was sacred, if it was important, if it had value and worth as much as anything else did. So Matthew Fox says, we cannot sit passively and watch the universe happen around us or outside us, for we, along with all other creatures, are that universe. Boredom comes from a lack of participation. So, are we just sitting by waiting for life to happen? Then we're really not fully participating, are we? And at the same time, I think one thing, if we took more of this, it's also if we are participating, how are we into participating? What is the energy we're putting into what we're doing? That matters. Okay, going back further, he says, as we gradually wake up, we wake up to what already exists in the mind of God. And because we wake up to it, it appears to us. And I want to make sure, sorry, I forgot, this is Mike Dunn. This is not Matthew. Continued. This is Mark Dunn. So as we wake up, we realize and we choose to participate in something, then we're energized by it. We recognize its worth and its value. And so this is about waking up, in essence of waking up of how I shift my lenses that I'm looking through and what I choose to see. For many, many, many people, okay, we're stuck in the first level of life activity, which is life is happening to me, which means I have really not a lot of choice. I feel very disempowered. I feel like, I'm on a boat, a sailboat, and there's no captain, and it's a storm, and it just blows me around day after day after day. Right? So what can I do? I just have these tasks that I can do. I really don't want to do them. So therefore, I'm really not truly participating in a life-affirming journey here on this planet. But let's pause for a minute and realize that we do, as humans, need to and want to categorize, to assess things. We judge them, we compare them, and this is an important function of our brain power, our mind power, because we need to, at some level, recognize: are we in danger? Is this good for us? Is it not good for us? However, it can also lead to some incorrect judgments, assessments, which then cut us off from experiencing the moment simply in all of its glory, in all of its magnificence. Yeah, we can literally experience that. A magnificent time journey doing the dishes. We could do that. In our daily lives, we get to determine what is important and what is not based on these categorizations that we have, the way we set things up in our life. This is important. This isn't. This is just something I'm going to procrastinate on because I really don't want to do it. Even though maybe part of my mind says it's more important than it is. But man, I have to do it every day. Washing the laundry once a week or so. And then folding. Washing is the easy part. Folding is the annoying part, isn't it? It's just a mundane task over and over. It's like making the bed. But again, let's pause. And what if we're wrong sometimes? And by wrong, I simply mean that we're not participating fully. I mean, what if these tasks that truly seem unimportant and ordinary are actually opportunities, gateways to experiencing the infinite in our lives, to experiencing source, spirit, God in our lives? Once again, my friends, I said it earlier, there is nothing outside of God. It's all God. Right? It's amazing how many traditions talk of one creator, one infinite being, and then that created everything. And then we go to say it's that and something else. Okay. So these gateways, these opportunities to do daily tasks as gateways, what if they are gateways not only to experiencing, of course, the divine, but seeing ourself in a whole new way? Self with a capital S, right? Our true self. There's a gentleman named Brother Lawrence. He was a Carmelite monk, and he wrote a book called The Practice of the Presence of God. And he kind of made famous, in essence, this idea that while he was doing these mundane tasks, he would have these what's the word I'm looking for? Spiritual insights, simply by like washing the dishes or cooking, or one of the tasks he did, because he lived way back in the 1600s. He was a sandal maker. He made shoes. And so he learned and started the practice of the presence of God, seeing that presence, experiencing that presence in everything that he did. So before he did anything, he would pray. Short prayer, recognizing that God is present in that moment, in that task, and he would ask for guidance about anything that he needed in that moment. And then he would begin. Right? So think about it. What if we just grounded ourselves? We said a short prayer, affirmative prayer, before we took out the garbage, before we went shopping, before we fill in the task. What if we took that opportunity to train our mind to see the magnificence of the moment, where maybe I was kind of closed-minded beforehand? Now, this is Ernest Holmes. He's talking about Jesus, and he says that Jesus taught them, saying, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And then he adds, he meant right here, right now, this morning. This comes from a great book, if you've never read it, The Ideas of Power by Ernest Holmes. What he's saying is, he's not like, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God some other time, right? No, we know that the full presence of the divine, right? Omnipresent. It's right here. It's always right here. It's always in its full power. It's always, always, always now. So experience it in the now. We don't have to wait for another time. And, oh, well, how can I experience while I'm going outside and picking up the dog waste? Yeah, we can do that. It's all God. And if we affirm that beforehand, we're literally paving the way. It reminds me of Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and who wrote the book, The Power of Intention, which was an integral book that got me on this path. This idea of using our power of intention to preset our mind. This is the energy I'm starting this with. This is how I'm going to look at it. And we set it and we ground it in all that is, in the pureness of spirit and the pureness of source, recognizing that all power, that the power that creates universes is right here, right now. And so I'm going to ask us and remind us as a simple, practical tool to do this, not just to hear me saying this. I practice this quite often, and it does keep my mind fresh throughout the day, particularly when I'm at work. And whenever I get up and leave my office, just a short intentional prayer affirming, okay, here I am right now. I am stopping what I was doing in my office. I am now going somewhere else. I bring the fullness of all that I am. And I know that there's nothing that's going to be presented to me that I can't handle. And then I go. Right? So we can affirm the grace, the spirit, the power of all life is fully present and expressing as itself at the highest and best way for me and for everyone that I run into, that I'm going to have a relationship to, whether it's I meet a coworker at the copy machine, then that is a divine experience. It may be mundane, but it's still divine. And so this is how we use this power of intention. And there's so many times throughout the day, if we begin to practice this, that we have these micro shifts that we're doing, shifts of attention, shifts of action. And we want to make sure that we are fully participating in life itself. And, I have a mantra, which is simply profound. And for me, this is one of the big ones, this course of action, which is choosing and training ourselves to see the fullness of the divine everywhere. And if someone were to ask me how I've changed so much in the last 15 years, I would say that's the key. To live in the moment and do the best I can with what I have and where I'm at, and be open to being able to learn something new that then raises my best to a new best. And it's always small things. It's small things that I add, kind of put in my tool belt and my tool pouch here that I can use that assist me. It's a new awareness. It's a new skill that makes things easier, that allows me to feel freer, that uses my time better. And that helps me participate more fully with that capital S self in life. So I read about a good example I wanted to share with you. There was a local camera club, and they would go to, out in nature in these beautiful places and shoot the photography. And this, this guy had a friend who was practicing as a Zen Buddhist at the time. And what he would do is, his practice was, they would get to the location and he would watch everybody. And basically, so they would all head to like the glorious spots, this beautiful mountain. Look at all these flowers and this field of flowers or whatever, use your mind. And he would literally turn in the opposite direction. And he was the one that ended up with award-winning photographs. And the other members would always ask, where did you see that? Where was that picture? Where did you experience that? And he said, he would simply reply that while they were looking at the big and obvious things to look at in nature, he found beauty, he says, in the unattended places. Maybe the places that don't get that much attention, right? That people don't normally go. And a lot of that is judgment, being open to, like, if I don't do what everybody else does, if I don't take a picture of the big, happy, flowery, colorful flower and plant or whatever, as opposed to this angle that catches, a light off a spider web, perhaps even. And he won many awards, simply choosing to look at things in a different way. And they went out all the time. That was kind of, he loved doing it, but it was a mundane task of going out, and it was very easy to get in a rut and find the pretty things to take pictures of. And his action was not only in this photography club, but as a practicing Buddhist, they were taught to do the same things. So we get conditioned to believe that our lives should be about these big world-saving activities, like high impact moments of change and transformation. And with technology too, we kind of get addicted to that stimulation and these experiences. And one of the shifts I've had in my life was I was with a life coach, David Karen, and I was in my beginning journey, and I had this overwhelming presence, right? That, I was finding my power. I was just kind of tapping into it. And so I felt like I have to do something amazing. Like, I have to take this knowledge, because it felt so good to me to experience this freedom that I was seeking, right? I had shifted from the life happening to me to the life happening by me. And that felt really good. And to help ground me, and I was really upset. So I was upset because I didn't know what to do. I didn't see myself as worthy to be able to do something amazing to change the world. And he asked me a question. And he said, Joe, where is your world? And I'm like, I don't even understand the question. I'm like, what is that? Where's my world? I live on a planet. That's my world. And he goes, no. He goes, your world is right here in this room that we're talking right now. Yes, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on out there, but that's not where your attention is. So therefore, that's not where your world is. This is where you're present. This is what you can change. And he says, he's helping me understand that wherever we go, we have an impact, and we get to choose the level of impact. And it is often through the most mundane activities that we truly do shift the world, because it's all one anyway. We're all vibrations affecting each other, right? And so how can we take this idea of again, ground, I use the word grounding a lot, of just being present in the moment, is, a quick meditation. You could do a meditation in 2 minutes and just ground and feel the freedom, feel the life flowing through you. And especially when we maybe don't, because we get caught up in I don't want to do this. That's okay, right? We're not going to beat ourselves up for that moment, and we're going to continue on, and we're going to shift one thing at a time. But what happens is, again, we do these monotonous things, and we kind of fall asleep almost while we're doing them. And then what happens is our energy feels drained, and then we try to actually go to sleep, where sleep is supposed to be respite, right? Sleep is supposed to help recharge our bodies physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what we do during sleep. At least that's what we should be doing. But if our thoughts are running amok, and we have all these crazy ideas, and I'm unhappy with, and so forth, then we're really not present. We're really not resting. We know the presence is here, in essence, right? Within us, and not somewhere out there. We know this, but we don't often practice it, and it's really easy to give our attention and give our power away. So, like this gentleman who was taking photographs, we train ourselves to turn our attention towards training our own mind, right, as seeing everything as sacred, seeing everything as beautiful, and everything that is unfolding for our best, and whoever it affects, the best and the highest good. There's a quote from a kind of a Zen book by author, and I'm not going to, Andrew Ferguson. It was a conversation from a book, and he says, "How do you practice?" And the Buddhist says, "I eat and sleep." And then he was asked, "How then do you differ to ordinary deluded people?" Ordinary people then sleeping and eating, when sleeping and eating, are bounded by 100 ropes. When sleeping, they don't sleep. When eating, they don't eat. Constantly thinking about 1,000 things. Hence, why it's different. And what he was saying is when he releases his thoughts about all these things to do, and we don't look at things as anchors that we have to do them. Here's the big shift that I made is I choose to do them. Right? I discovered this gem when I was doing a diet cleanse, and I was like, I can't eat whatever it was. And I heard that and I felt that. And I'm like, no, I can't eat it. I can choose to eat it right now, but that would kind of break what I'm trying to do. And I want to be disciplined. And so I'm choosing not to do this. And we could take that simple practice and literally make a big shift in our lives. So the other part of that is let's stop waiting for this big, grandiose things to happen before we choose to be fully present. Can we be fully present during the ordinary stages of our lives, the ordinary times of our lives? And how do we shift? I'm laughing because I work with a fantastic woman named Lysandra Coleman. She's a counselor, and we joke with each other. And I joke with her and tell her that I'm so good that I make the extraordinary look ordinary, and it's not being egotistical, just being funny. And but that's kind of really, in essence, what we're shifting is taking the ordinary and making that extraordinary, right? Take time to set intention, because intention is a transformational tool. Why? Because it directs the flow of our attention, right? Attention provides the energy. Intention is the focus. So I'll share with you a little bit here. So in response to a question, to a Zen Buddhist, he was asked, what comes after enlightenment? And the Buddhist answered, Before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So his point was that there's no shift when you see the divine in everything you do. Just because you have a new level of awareness, right? If all of a sudden we wake up and we have this Christ consciousness, like we go into the room and it is just turned on and I recognize my oneness with everything, you know what? I still have to use the bathroom. I should still probably shower. I still have to eat. Therefore, I have to cook. I have to do dishes. Right. And I say I have to in a sense I don't have to, but then that's not going to make life very happy for me. Right. So he's saying that enlightenment is great, you know, and it's a part. Enlightenment is an awareness. It's a knowing. It's a recognition of God in our life in all aspects of our life. But we live as humans, no matter how enlightened we are. Right? We are here to experience this spiritual transformation. No, let me change that. To recognize that the spirit that we believe is outside or maybe special is actually who we are. That is our life. And to believe that enlightenment transforms us to where so-called mundane tasks are no longer necessary is a fantasy, right? And so, you know, we're going to have to do these things. It's just part of life. And how we do them is the gift to us. Taking a breath, centering. So today's talk is really all about overcoming the trap of the mundane and seeing things as having no value and no worth. And we're losing the opportunity to really dive in and think about it like, you know, there's so many things that are energetic vampires. They feel like they take our energy away. And this is a way to receive more energy, to literally recharge ourselves by having fun. When I was young, it was funny because tasks, my sister hated vacuuming. For whatever reason, I loved vacuuming. There was something about just the way the rugs would change when you vacuum them. I mean, not just looking cleaner, but, you know, like when you go one way, it looks lighter and darker, whatever. I just loved it. And I always had a good time, and she just couldn't understand it. And I've learned to use this practice in so many things that I do. And it's not that I don't get frustrated sometimes and want things to change, and that's okay too. That restfulness can assist us, which leads us into a next quote by Ronald Rolheiser. He says, "True restfulness is a form of awareness, a way of being in life. It is living ordinary life with a sense of ease, gratitude, appreciation, peace, and prayer. We are restful when ordinary life is enough." In other words, let's stop reaching. Let's stop reaching and realize it's all right here. Wherever we are is the fullness of life, period. And I don't know about you, but I have to pull back the reins often on myself of trying to get this done so I could do that. And then I completely lose that opportunity in this moment. Right? One step at a time. Okay. If we're always seeing the grass is greener on the other side over there, right, it'll keep us focused somewhere other than where we're at. Right. If we reorient ourselves to view everything we do as a meditation, as a graceful action, then we can kind of calm that monkey mind and keep our energy, and not only keep it, but use it for life affirming experiences and things that, yes, you know, sometimes it is, I have to do this and I really want to do that, but that doesn't mean we skip over that first thing. Okay? Ernest Holmes says that we should not look forward to a hereafter without activity, but to a place where our work will be done in greater harmony with divine law because of greater understanding. So he's even saying that even after this thing that we call life, that there still must be activity, that life is in constant motion. We know this. So there's a simple little story that kind of sums this up, and I'm going to share it. It says, a friend recently bought a kitchen knife from Amazon. In the reviews, he had noticed that one of the reviews says, quote, "This knife is too sharp. It cut me," end quote. He laughed about this first level of consciousness focus of the reviewer and bought the knife. So there was judgment. A few days after he received it, he was drying it off, not paying attention, and cut a deep gash in his finger. Amid the blood and pain, he began laughing, recognizing how his subjective mind had picked up the reviewer's thought. He also took the opportunity to recognize that the knife had not cut him. He had cut himself using the knife. Additionally, he noticed that he had been thinking about something else and was not fully present to the drying of the knife. He says it was a powerful reminder to be present even with the mundane things such as drying dishes, right? How many times do we trip over something that's right in front of us because we're not present? So what can we do? What I'm going to ask us to do is set a timer, maybe for once an hour or even 2 hours. And when it goes off, I want you to ask yourself, am I being present, fully present in this moment? Right? That's it. Am I fully present? If we are fully present, then we are not just, and we're not talking about just little Joe here. I'm talking about the big J, right? High conscious, God knowing, God recognizing everything in this moment, oneness, wholeness, source in form, which is what we are, which is what I am. If you're not, don't criticize yourself, right? If you're not fully present, take a breath or two until you feel present. And then bless everything that is around you in that moment. No matter what's going on, bless it. Okay? So set a reminder. Okay? You're going to ask yourself when that goes off, am I being fully present in the moment without judgment? We either are or we're not. If we're not, we're going to bless, we're going to breathe, and we're going to bless. Okay? So we can't end a talk without a Rumi quote. And he says this. He says, borrow the beloved's eyes. Look through them, and you'll see the beloved's face everywhere. No tiredness, no jaded boredom. I shall be your eye and your hand and your loving. That's a quote. Let that happen, and things that you have hated will become helpers. So in other words, put on God's eyes. Right? He calls God in this instance the beloved. Right? So it's about flipping the way we think and affirming that everything that is happening is for my best and highest good, and I am present. And we turn those, it's amazing if you practice this, how much more energy you will feel and experience on a daily basis. All right, we have our affirmation, setting intention, right? And it's not just words. It's the energy behind the words. So intention matters, but where's my attention? It's going to energize this. I'm going to breathe and I'm going to go count down on 3. We'll say it together. 3, 2, 1. I look and I find the sacred in everything. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to close with affirmative prayer. So let us just shift our attention inward. Recognizing that perfect and divine breath with which is always present, always abundant. And I feel the abundance of all life wherever I go, whenever I am, whoever I am with. It is always it with a capital I, it as in source, the universe, God, spirit, Buddha, Jesus, whatever we choose to call it, the fullness of life, the power that creates universes and everything is in this moment, is fully in every moment. And I, knowing that there's only one life being lived, I choose to live in that moment deeply, personally, and only the way that I uniquely can. And that knowing the wholeness of God understands perfectly how I want to experience this life. And then it knows even more. And it delivers the perfect life experiences for me to understand who and what I am and how I serve. I am the divine, and I am the divine in form that is expressing uniquely through my life. And I know that everyone that is listening is experiencing the exact same experience. We are having a human experience, but we are spiritual in nature. We are spirit itself in nature. We are love itself flowing. We are life itself expressing in the mundane, in the sacred, in the profane, yet it is all one and the same, just looking at it from a different perspective, a different purview. So I celebrate life in its fullness right here, right now, in this moment, in every moment. I check accordingly on my timer, and when it goes off, I make sure I double check, am I fully present in this moment? And then I bless everything around me. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you, Reverend Joe.
My
I
pleasure.
look and I see the sacred in everything. That's kind of like namaste, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. Your messages are always astounding. I'm just glad it's you and not me trying to put that together.
I appreciate
I learned a
it.
long time. It's 20-hour message, 20-minute message takes 20 hours preparation. So anyway,
No
so
different
we'll
than
see
creating
you
a song,
on
right?
Zoom. And let's not forget, Reverend Joe will be in town next week
Yes,
at
I will.
our in-person meeting, and we'll be rock and rolling. So you all come and
Yes,
see us.
please come out and see us.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks, Reverend Joe. Thank you.
For-
Well, there you go. You glad you showed up or what? Yeah. So we got some announcements. We have the community care circle still in action and working. If you'd like to talk to somebody or have somebody contact somebody that you feel is in need, you can call the number up there, 435-893-6702. Leave a message and somebody get back a hold of you. Our practitioners are always welcoming prayer. And if you would like somebody to pray with you, for you, about you, just email prayer@cslstgeorge.org and somebody will get back a hold of you and make that happen. And as we just were talking about, our next in-person meeting is next week on the 12th, and we meet over here at the Mason Lodge. They're kind enough to let us use their downstairs banquet room. And it's just perfect for what we do. So we look forward to you showing up. We can all be getting together again. And in the meantime, we'll get together here in about 5 minutes on our Zoom. You can find the link for that on the website or on the newsletter and just click in there and say hello. And who knows what subjects are going to come up. So we look for, when you come to the meeting, the in-person meeting, there are practitioners that have these purple stoles on. And that's so you can identify them. And it's like a medal of accomplishment. I look at it, but they're welcome. Talk to them if you'd like to sit down and have some prayer with them, or just get to meet them. That'd be great. So look for them next week when you come to the open meeting. We welcome you to share with us in our prosperity and our goal to get to the point where we can have our own place to meet on every Sunday. So there's many ways that you can participate. You can give with Zelle. You can give online at the CSLSG.org, and it'll lead you on how to do that. Or you can mail a check, or you can scan this QR code right here, and it'll set you up too. So thank you all in advance. Next Sunday, in person, Reverend Joe will be talking about sacred. And then the following Sunday on the 19th, we'll be back on our StreamYard Zoom podcast, and the subject will be the profane. And better him talk profane than me. But anyway, we welcome you. Thank you for being with us. We're all going to get back together here, and please share with us. We'll get out of the way so you can read the, there we go. And we're going to say this all together. There's 1, 2, 3. Marina. Oh, there she is. So just please stick this with us. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all that I do.
I am it. I embrace it, and I share it.
Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is becoming. Thank
you, life.
Woo-hoo.
So it is.
Thank you all. And we'll see you here in a few minutes and again next week. And thank you again, Reverend Joe, for the wonderful message. And so namaste, my friends. We'll see you all soon.
Namaste.